This is one of the cheapest legit planar driver IM that you could get in the market right now. So hello and welcome to Aftersound Review, and this is my review for 7Hz Salnotes Dioko. And yes, this is a legit magnetic planar driver IM that costs only around $99. And just like usual, I will break down this review from the build, fit, frequency response, sound, and comparison. You know, this is the first time I see this kind of housing. It is legit, really different from the other ones. The housing, I think when I'm saying it at first, I thought it was meant to wear them like this, but no, you need to wear them like this. And it's almost like I don't know, it's like a jewelry because of this shining pearly faceplate that has a bluish purple color on it. It's really unique, one of a kind. And then the housing is quite big. You see there's a bigger body here, but the nozzle is a little bit thin like this. It's using 2-pin connectors and the cable is braided. Overall, it's a nice build quality, but it's certainly unique and it's eye-catching. Regarding the ergonomics, I have to warn you though, if you have small ears, maybe you should pay attention because it has big side right here. And honestly, I have small ears, so when I'm wearing them like this, you will see it's on a bigger side of IM, and I don't know, somehow I feel that I'm not wearing them ideally because when I'm just shaking my head like this, the fit will just go off a little bit, so I'm losing a little bit of that isolation. So I don't know, it's just not really stable in my ears, and I couldn't really shove them quite deep into my ears. Just be careful for those who have small ear canals. Now, frequency-wise, around this price point, again, I feel that I could categorize them into somehow a U-shaped kind of sound category, because you see that the bass itself is not really emphasized, but it's clearly extended to the sub-bass region, and you get that a little bit of sub-bass lift around that. But after that, the mid-range is fairly quiet neutral, but with added treble around 8K and above. So yeah, for me it's definitely somehow neutral-ish, especially because of that mid-range to leaning sub-bass. But I definitely feel that treble emphasized. So the thing that I feel emphasized is mostly on the sub-bass and also the other side of the treble on the mid to upper treble area, giving you somehow not V-shape, but yeah, you know, that U-shape-ish kind of presentation. Starting from the bass itself, I think that this is a capable bass. It digs deep, but it's not for those who are bass head. The bass is lacking, lacking thickness and simply lacking in quantity for EDMs and for such pop music for me. But it is a capable bass. In terms of depth, it reached really good in the sub-bass region, and it's also quite fast and tight. So in terms of quality and sub-bass reach bass depth, it's just simply good. But in terms of fun factor, I don't think it's I could categorize them as a fun IM, because it's just lacking that quantity, that thickness, that bass punch that could make you dance, you know. Somehow I feel that the vocal is actually quite neutral-ish. But personally, I feel that it's lacking ear gain, at least for my ears. The vocal, especially when I'm hearing female vocal or male vocal, I feel that it lacks forwardness. So it's a little bit get a step back in terms of positioning. It's not as forward as the treble, also that sub bass. So it's, yeah, I feel that it's a little bit recessed and a little bit taken aback in positioning, but it's clear. It has good clarity as expected from a planar driver, but I feel it's just lacking forwardness. It lacks presence to be able for me to be able to enjoy some vocals music for when I'm hearing jazz or some solo female performance. I feel that I'm lacking forwardness. I'm lacking some presence in the mid-range area. But other than that, I feel in terms of balancing male and female, it's quite good. It's just not forward enough for me. And also hearing piano and also guitar also feels quite natural uh, in terms of balancing that upper mid range to lower mid range position. It's just that I'm liking that forwardness. For me, it lacks presence if you like mid range simply. But in terms of balancing and clarity, it's actually quite good. Now going to the treble area, well, I will say that at this price point, this is one of the IEM that you could get an airy and detailed extended treble presentation. I couldn't really think a lot of IM at this price point that has detail and clarity for the treble area as much as the Dioko. I mean, when I try hearing some Lindsey Stirling music, it's quite complicated. I'm hearing Sugar Plum Fairy from the Lindsey Stirling or some violin music. I feel that the treble extension also bite is just quite good, and it's one of the best, simply one of the best at this price point. It has that clarity, it has that extension, and it also has that breath for the violin. It's one of the best, seriously, at this price point. So, the thing about the tonal is it will not be for everyone, because for me it lacks fun factor. It lacks also presence in the mid-range area that makes me cannot really enjoy some vocals. But in terms of extension, it's one of the most extended I am in terms of frequency response. I get a really good note in the sub bass region and also get really high note in the treble region. It all feels really complete from the lower frequency to the upper frequency, but that middle frequency around just between those frequency, I can't really enjoy the middle frequency between that sub bass, also that treble region. Between that, I'm just lacking presence. At least for me, it also lacking some dynamics. When I'm hearing some orchestral music, I don't feel where's the dynamics in the music. So in terms of tonality, it's not for everyone, but I do get that maybe some of you will like this kind of tonal presentation. That if I have to say, this is one of the most complete frequency I have heard at this price point. Now, going to the technical part, again, it is simply impressive and simply one of the best because of that planar sensation. It has good, really good resolution for less than $100 price point, and I feel that even this might be simply the best that I have ever heard. I mean, try the $80 Juno Titan S. This is one of the crowd favorite right now, and I absolutely love this too. But in terms of resolution, in terms of detail, I still feel that the Dioko is just above them. It's just better in terms of resolution and detail. Even you take that Olina from the 3-point, I feel that the Olina is more three-dimensional. It also has a better imaging as well. But in terms of resolution and detail, I still feel that this is simply the best you could get at this price point. So yeah, it's impressive in terms of technical. Now here's about the direct comparison. Comparing them with this Juno Titan S, I feel that Juno Titan S is actually one of my favorite IM for sub $100 price point, and it stands till this day. For me, the Juno Titan S is somehow the more natural sounding one. I feel that it's more neutral-ish in terms of the frequency. It doesn't have the emphasis in the treble region as the Dioko. But in terms of balancing, I feel that the overall frequency somehow is more balanced on the Juno Titan S. Sometimes I feel some treble peaks around the Dioko, but I don't feel that from the Juno Titan S. It's simply very safe. But the upper mid-range is also more forward, a little bit more than my preference for ear gain. So when I'm hearing vocal, it's definitely much more forward in the Juno Titan S compared to the Dioko. But that being said, again, in terms of, so simply said, the tonal is more neutral and more forward in the mid-range area that actually I prefer for this Juno Titan S. But in terms of technical, this Dioko is just above the Juno Titan S, and it's clear. It's really clear when you compare them with some very high resolution music and good recording music, such from Foreplay. I feel that really clear that the Dioko is above the Juno Titan S. And comparing this Dioko with the like a sample for 3-point Olina, I feel that again the 3-point Olina is a little bit better in terms of vocal presence. It's a little bit too forward even for me. The Olina for me is a little bit too shouty, but other than that, I feel that the Dioko and Olina is different. The Dioko is more like U-shape. Olina has that almost Harmon-ish kind of frequency response. And in terms of details, again, simply the Dioko still wins. So in the end, what can I say about the Dioko? Well, it's a quiet, I would say that this is a niche tonal. Not everyone will like it because it has that U-shaped kind of presentation. A lot of people like vocals. At least that's what my experience tells me. This Dioko doesn't have that really forward vocal that everyone loves, but instead it gives you something quite different. It gives you the most complete frequency at $100 price point. I could hear the lowest note and I could hear the highest note at this price point just from the Dioko. So yeah, it's a little bit niche, but it's impressive. It's still impressive, and I could still recommend them for those who are looking for a complete frequency for top to bottom, and you want a really good resolution and detail at this price point. I think if you want simply the best of that, go here. But if you don't, if you love vocal, I don't think that this is it. And if you love EDMs, this is not it. Okay. So for my final score, I will give you, this is my tonal ranking and this is my technical ranking, and just like usual, this is my final ranking, and this ranking could be changed and will be changed according to the advancement of technology, or simply maybe change in my benchmark. If you are interested in looking at that, please take a look at my ranking in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Bye bye.